Good evening. Sorry for the delay, but when we only meet once a month during the summer, there's so much to talk about. We like to wrap it up before we get out here. So I apologize for the delay. But as we get back to our regular twice a month schedule, it should be much better. But at this time, would you please rise and join me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll, please.
Spinks? Here. Cochi?
Here.
Mezek? Here. Janutus?
Here.
Fluharty?
Here.
Saunders?
Here.
And Rhodes? Here.
Council, you have the minutes of the work session of August 5th, 2019. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, can I have a motion for acceptance by Mezek, second by Rhodes. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
And you have the minutes of the regular meeting of August 5th, 2019. Any corrections, changes to that? Seeing none, motion for acceptance by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
And you have the minutes of this special work session of August 19th, 2019. Any corrections to that? Seeing none, motion for acceptance by Rhodes, second by Mezek. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
Well, and this is a good night. We have a bunch of swearing-in ceremonies for tonight. But before we start that, we're kind of going to take out a sequence a little bit on our first ordinance, which will be appointing our new clerk of council, Tracy Simons, which we welcome to the city of Bedford. And we're happy to have her here. And we have ordinance number 9717-19.
That being an ordinance appointing Tracy Simons, Clerk of Council of the City of Bedford, effective September 3rd, 2019, and declaring an emergency.
And motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Mezek, second by Rhodes. As I said, Tracy's our new clerk. We did an exhaustive search for a new clerk, and she rose to the top of the group there, and we're just pleased to have her here, and I think she'll be a great addition to our team. So, and call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
So now you're official,
Thank you.
and I get to swear you in. We have the sheets. We're going to go down front where we always do this. repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Tracy Simons,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford,
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford,
and faithfully,
honestly,
honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of the position of Clerk of Council
discharge the duties of the position of the Clerk of Council
of the City of Bedford,
of the City of Bedford,
so help me God.
so help me God. Thank you. Thank you.
Just start reading the headings.
Thank you. Thank you.
And Tracy, if you'd like to say anything, or...
I'm nervous, but I just want to thank everybody, and my first day so far has been very good. Everybody's been very nice, and I look forward to working with all of you and with the residents. So, that's it. I'm sorry. I'm nervous.
Sign that one, and then I have those.
And Trace, don't forget, you have another Trace right here. Or my son is Trace. Can't be bad.
Yeah, we have another very good thing we're doing here with Sean Allred. Step forward, please. He will now be our new sergeant. Very good. Thank you. Good. Remember when you were just a new guy? Anyhow, let's get this. I, state your name,
I, Sean Allred,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford,
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford,
and faithfully,
honestly,
and impartially discharge the duties of the position of sergeant
discharge the duties of the position of sergeant
of the City of Bedford, Ohio,
of the City of Bedford, Ohio.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Nobody's been wounded yet. No, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Sean's been a great member of our police department team over there, and Chief, if you would like to say a couple of words, then we'll get to you.
Yeah, I wanted to thank everybody for showing up here tonight and supporting the police department. We really appreciate it. I want to congratulate Sean. He's one of our high performers, being promoted to sergeant, being part of my staff. So he's going to do great things. So welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Family?
Yes, of course. My wife Kelly, my daughter Olivia, my son Dennis, and the family. My parents, my sister Beth, Daryl, Sue, Barb, and Don are all here to support me, and I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys this time. And I just want to say, I really appreciate this opportunity to be a sergeant. I'm going to do everything in my power to represent the City of Bedford the best as I can. So thank you.
Privileged to have.
Blood, please. Sign right off. It'll be fun working with you.
Good luck to you. Congratulations.
Getting younger and younger. I'm getting older and older. Vincent Lobelli?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
You look good. I like that.
I, Vincent LaValle,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford,
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford,
and faithfully,
and
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties of the position of patrolman
discharge the duties of the position of patrolman
of the City of Bedford, Ohio,
of the City of Bedford, Ohio.
so help me God.
So help me God. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Does somebody pin your badge on here?
My lovely wife.
One time.
Don't tell you, but it's kind of like the wedding cake. You poke it on.
Today's the 1 month anniversary.
Vince.
Okay, Ben, you want to say a couple things and introduce your family? or-
I got my lovely parents over here, Mark and Mary, my awesome in-laws over here, Mark and Mo and Sherry, and my beautiful wife, which we've been married for exactly 1 month today. Yeah, so we made it a month. I want to say thanks to the chief and all the officers and support staff. It's been an honor to go through the process and be able to work for the City of Bedford. It's always a dream that I wanted to serve, so I really appreciate the opportunity to work here and be able to serve here. And I look forward to spending at least 25 to 30 years here and being able to serve, so I really appreciate it.
Let's see. Good. Thank you. Vince?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. Sign there. Take a leave.
Thank you.
And Brandon? Last but certainly not least.
Thank you.
If you will repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brandon Peltz,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford,
and the Charter and laws of the City of Bedford,
and faithfully,
faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties of the position of patrolman
discharge the duties of the position of patrolman
of the City of Bedford, Ohio,
of the City of Bedford, Ohio,
so help me God.
so help me God. Thank you. Maybe I'll get on the roll.
Congratulations.
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 Extra stuff already.
Somebody pin your badge on?
It wasn't like
That beer bottle away.
Never make a scene.
Can fix it later.
Worry about it later. Yes. Brandon?
So first I would love to thank my very supportive family. They went through with me when I was through the academy, and they've been supported ever since. It's my father, my mother, sister, my grandma, and her neighbor.
Don't forget the neighbors.
Excluded. And I would love to thank the city of Bedford and everyone that has trained me and given me the amazing opportunity to start my career. And just like I couldn't be any more grateful and thankful for this amazing opportunity.
Give your speech. Yeah, I just wanted to welcome our two newest officers aboard. They went through a very long, especially advanced, very long process to get hired, and they made it that far so far. Now they have a hard job ahead of them. They just got with their field training officers, and they'll be put through the ringer for the next couple of months, and they'll be one of us. So I want to welcome them, and best of luck to you. And I just want you to remember some words of wisdom that were passed on to me in the past. Just remember to be true to yourself, true to your families, true to the department, and always honor the badge.
Mr. Mayor, I think we ought to, as citizens, congratulate the city for hiring these great fellas. And it's that the city should be very acceptable of all the things that they will do for us and have done for those citizens of the city. Thank you.
No, we thank you for that.
I just want to let everybody know that these two newest officers finally put us at full strength on the police department. We do have one officer out on injury leave, and then these two guys in training. But once everybody's back, we'll be at full strength, and no more hiring to be done anytime soon until I leave. So we'll do the best we can with what we have to serve all you fine people of this city. Thank you again.
And we are quite proud of all our officers. We're proud of all our city employees too. They do a great job day in and day out without a lot of fanfare. And for that, we appreciate what they do. We appreciate the new leadership role that Sean's going to have, and the addition of the two new officers. It's always a good day when we can do things like this. Chief,
Thank you.
keep after it. If you guys want to take a minute, if I know you guys all want to do the congratulate all the kids. Yes. Should make that
There goes the heart. Now, everyone that's left has to move to the front.
And before we get into our reports, I want to say hello to all the folks at home, because we are now streaming live. So you can watch us at home on bedfordoh.gov and click it on YouTube. And, so it's a big moment in the history of Bedford. We are now live, and so everybody can watch at home. We hope people still come here. We don't want everybody because we don't want to talk to an empty audience. But we appreciate the technology and all this stuff that we have nowadays, that we can do this and get out there and reach more of our citizens in a timely fashion. So I think that's a good thing. Just hold off a minute and they'll be making their way.
Excellent.
can have reports. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wanted to offer a quick congratulations to Sean on his promotion, and also welcome aboard Tracy, Vince, and Brandon. I know all of you are going to do wonderful things here and be an asset to our team, so welcome. Just a couple friendly reminders. We are doing our second Shred Day of the year, which will be on September 14th out here in the parking lot of City Hall, and that will be funded through a grant. We're also moving forward with our camera initiative, which is kind of a pilot program. If you recall that the Auto Mile is completely funding those cameras that have been, they're in the process of being installed throughout areas of Rockside Road and Broadway. They will be directly fed to our cruisers, the station, and if there's obviously any calls that come in, we can obviously access those for obviously enhanced security. Our goal is to, by the end of this week, have more than half of them up, and then the remaining should be up over the next couple weeks. So that's a good thing. And again, that couldn't have been done without the generous donation of the auto dealers. So once again, obviously, thank you to them. We are working and trying to press Dominion and their contractors on a couple areas in town. They do have a project that they want to look to begin. It should be a short project as far as a main gas line replacement on William, although the city is not granting them permission to start that yet. We have identified a couple of different areas along Washington Street and Grand Boulevard where they've previously done a replacement project. And some of that work is not completed. It's not completed to our standards. So we are trying to push them to get those things addressed before they can begin the next phase. So any residents that are concerned, we do work off of a punch list. That contractor's been given the punch list, and we're going to stay on that before they can continue in other areas of town. I do also want to mention that our chipper service, that service runs through October. It's the first two weeks of the month. So obviously we have this week. If you have any debris that you need to get out and you need that service, contact the service department and we'll get you on the list and we'll get out and collect that. And then we'll also be out the first full week of October. After that, we won't be utilizing that as the service, which is similar to the years past, will then at that point be into the leaf season, believe it or not. Just a little update on the Villa project up at San Bernardino. The building department did meet with the project manager and the contractor, and they had indicated that they intend to start work in the next 15 days. So that should be back up and running as far as the construction is concerned. I will say they have at least 6 more months worth of work to complete that whole project. So there is some time that's still going to take to get that wrapped up. I'm sure everybody's seen the progress up at Northfield and Rockside. Mazda is moving very quickly. The walls are up and they're progressing. So they have a tight timeline, but there definitely looks as if they're going to get very close to meeting that, and that's a good thing for our town and that area in general. There have been some concerns, and I know Councilwoman Spinks has sent those over the weekend in very helpful photos. As far as some of the truck parking on the other side of Meadowbrook, I'll tell you that we've sent notices out to all of the property owners up there that obviously we can't ticket that because it's on private property, but we actually installed temporary signage in the right-of-ways on both Northfield and Rockside that obviously we don't allow that overnight parking and the truck parking, but the property owners need to take initiative as far as getting those towed. They have not. We've gotten minimal cooperation up there. We've sent notices, and we're getting very close to issuing citations to those property owners. So we're aware of that. I can tell you your council members are aware. They're out there. They're taking photos, and we're going to hopefully get that addressed Unfortunately, it may take some citations being issued, but we're not intending to allow that to be a truck stop, per se. There are a couple of demolitions that we still have to finish by the end of this year that were included in our grant that we applied for through the Cuyahoga County. We have a property on West Glendale. We have 2 properties on Columbus, on Henry, and a couple other locations. As far as the delay, we're working with the land bank, and they're going to be the ones administering those demolitions. What they do is they like to bundle all of those together, and then they bid it out all at once. We're waiting on one more final title work to come back on one of the properties, and then we'll send that over, and then they'll give us a quick timeline. But those will take place this year, and once we get that timeline, we'll fill in council and obviously the residents as well. Lastly, I have, the city was successful in, similar to last year, we received a grant through NOPEC for energy improvements. That grant was just under $50,000. I think it was about $48,000. We are choosing to escrow those funds, which is an option for us, and those will stay in escrow until 2020. The reason is we are going to be awarded another grant for the similar amount of money in 2020. And there are a number of different improvements that we're looking at, for instance, with our municipal buildings. If it's lighting at the service department, believe it or not, we have water heaters for this facility. We're approaching 15 plus years, they're showing wear, and they can be more efficient. What we're looking to do is we had a contractor come in and did an extensive energy audit with all of our municipal buildings. And basically they lay out and say, these are improvements that you can make. These are the dollars that you're gonna save as far as in utilities. And this is about the payback on what it would be as far as making the investment on the improvement and when you'll kind of save and get your money back. Our goal is to utilize the 2 NOPEC grants, which would be about $100,000, plus some potential other dollars to do a significant energy project end of this year, beginning of next year. And most of that will be funded through grant dollars. So that is the reason we're escrowing this year's grant reward. It's kind of to leverage it to more money that we're able to get in 2020. And that is kudos to Jen Kuzma, who put those grants together, and obviously Frank, who helps manage those funds. So well done on that. End of report.
Thank you. And I'd like to welcome our Assistant Law Director, Blair Melling, tonight, sitting in for John Montello.
Thank you. This is my annual visit, so thank you for having me. John's usually here, but he apologizes for not being here tonight. He provided me with absolutely no notes whatsoever with regard to the law department report. So, but I am glad to hear that we are now televised. And to steal a line from television right now, I did wear my second best tie, so hopefully I come across well. Then the last thing I'd say is John and I are going to continue our lobby to have our new clerk of council read the headings for all the legislation henceforth into the future, so that will be a repetitive theme. And with that, my report's done.
Thank you.
Until next year, when I come back again.
So once a year you get to read.
I think I get once a year here.
Yes, because we don't give her a microphone.
No, well,
So that's it.
we can change that.
Those are expensive.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Mr. Gambozzi.
Yes, I'd like to congratulate Tracy and welcome her to the city of Bedford. It'll be great working with you over the next 2 years. Also, in line with what civil service did with our testing, we had some great candidates that came off of our list. Wasn't that many, but it was some great quality patrolmen with Vincent and Brandon, and then also with Sean Allred. Congratulations to him. He did a very exceptional job on the sergeant promotional exam, so kudos to all of them. I have a few ordinances that I'll be talking about later, so I'm not going to give a report today, and that's it, my report.
Well, thank you.
That's good.
And council, start with Mrs. Spinks.
Good evening, everybody. Tracy, welcome aboard. We're excited to have you with us, and we look forward to years to come. Congratulations to all of our officers for Sean being promoted and our new officers. That's always exciting. I'm a proud mother of a police officer in Lockhart, Texas, so I like to see that. I like to see them. They do look really young. And that's good. They'll stay around for a while. At least the camper's gone from the truck stop. The so-called truck stop up there. There was a camper where the trucks were parking up there at the old Target. They just thought the truckers just thought that we'll just bring in a camper too. So I know that's Wally's Ward, but I go by there all the time and I get a lot of complaints about it. So thanks for helping that. And it said that the city, with it being private property, there's not much that we can do, and the truckers seem to be taking more and more advantage of the situation because there's more and more trucks every day. So, and it doesn't look good. If we could tax them, I asked Frank, I said, isn't there some way we could tax them for parking there? Frank was agreeing with me. Mike, the chipper's going to be out for one more month.
September and October.
Okay, so 2 more months.
Yeah.
Okay, so because they had a couple residents asking for it. Don't forget trash pickup. If it normally picks up on Wednesday, it will not pick up till Thursday. So if you want to get your trash picked up on Wednesday, remember or whatever day, it's a delay today because of the holidays. Cool things happening next weekend. I know there's some cool things happening this weekend. I'll wait and let Heather talk about that, what's coming up this Friday. I'm excited about that. But next weekend is the Celebration of Art. That's the 13th, 14th, and 15th. The 13th is Cirque de Bedford. If you've ever seen a Cirque du Soleil performance, this is going to be very similar to that. There'll be 3 acrobats. It's going to be a fun-filled evening, and it's right downtown on Bedford Commons. We have a great big event tent, so we extended the tickets a little bit longer. The last day to get tickets will be this Friday. They were last Friday, but I extended them a little bit. And so you'll please want to get you, and the money goes to the Bedford Historical Society. This is a very important event because a lot of people don't realize we've got 3 buildings. I'm the vice president of the Historical Society, very proud to be. And we've got those 3 buildings. We've got the museum, we've got the old church, and we have the Dome House. And it takes a lot of money to keep those very precious gems of our city up and running. You can't just, if a window breaks or something, you can't just go out and go just buy a window. You can't go to Home Depot or something like that. It has to be special done. It has to have a special person come in and put it up. So there's a lot of stuff goes into that. So these little events like the Strawberry Festival, Celebration of Art, this is very important. A lot of people have had a few complaints about all the tickets, $50. Well, if you think about it, $50 for a spectacular show and food to save these beautiful buildings, that doesn't sound like much to me. So please come out the weekend, the Saturday and Sunday. It's free, it costs you nothing. We've got all kind of stuff. Starts at 11 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night. We've got German music this year, doing something a little bit different. This has always been a dream of mine to make an international festival. So this year it's international. We have Germany represented, we have Czech, we have Spain, Mexico, we have, of course, Polish, and it's just going to be a fun-filled weekend. Couple of, and really excited too, Seth Quast, which is with us a couple of years ago, was diagnosed with autism at 21 months. And at 18 years old, his mother, who was a psychiatrist, was told that her son was non-functioning and would never do nothing. He would never be able to even push a mop. And she was not going to accept that. So she put him into Cleveland Art Museum, all first classes for kids all the time. So she enrolled him in an art class. And to this day right now, he's 36 years old and he travels all over the world. He just got back from Europe, and he has people from all over the place. They sponsor him, they put him up, he's just amazing on what he can do and his mother's amazing too. There's 17 books. They will have the books. He'll be, Nature Stone is sponsoring them. So he'll be at Nature Stone from 11 o'clock on Saturday, the 14th, until 2 o'clock. So if you get a chance, please stop by and see this amazing young man and his mom. And the books are only like $10, and they're just simply amazing. And come support this great act. End of report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everybody. It's nice to see everybody here. There is somebody missing tonight, but that's Mr. Mel Cook from our Colony Club Development. I will give you a quick update as to the Colony Club concerns. They had many concerns, so there were a few of the residents here for a couple of meetings so they could voice their concerns, and we were trying to have a remedy for them. What it boils down to is this is a private enterprise, the apartments, even though they are in Ward 4, there are 581 renters in the Colony Club 1 and 2 portion of the apartments in Ward 4. These people were requesting being treated fairly, and as of today's date, everything seems to be the way it's supposed to be. People that are residents are supposed to air their concerns to the office or management level, which we're trying to accommodate them with this, talking to somebody in an upper level of management that owns the apartments, because now they're owned by a group out of Michigan, the state of Michigan, and they come down once in a while, so now it's just a personal one-on-one for everybody, so that's probably why they're not here tonight. My other thing is to congratulate the new officers, well-deserved. We can put our minds at ease a little bit more with knowing there's going to be more officers on the road for us. Congratulations to also Patrolman Sean Eldred for his becoming a sergeant on the force also. I was going to ask the city manager a couple of questions. You did mention the shred day, and I believe the hours of the shredding to bring all your stuff up to the parking lot will be 9 to 12 on the 14th again. Is there a time frame for the hop in where the old original Sunoco gas station was in Bedford?
No, we don't have a timeline on
Because it
that.
seems that they're in a standstill right now, nothing's really going on. I also had a question about, which was already taken care of, about the Meadowbrook parking lot for these people to pull in, leave, and nobody's doing anything about it, but we're trying to do our best to accommodate our residents and clean that area up. So you did that quite well, thank you. One other question was, a few of the utility companies are offering you insurance plans as far as your air conditioning and furnace and water heater. Is there a specific requirement as to how we dispose of the water heaters, or if they have to have permits when they're going to have it redone in a person's home?
They would be required to get a permit by a registered contractor to do that.
Thank you.
When you're dealing with gas and things like that for safety concerns.
And now that school has started, I'm asking all the residents to just be aware of who in your neighborhood gets on that school bus, and if they get on safely, if you're up and about, and see who's going on the bus. Because at one time, when our kids were growing up, we kind of knew who was going on the bus and who was getting off, and what time the bus was going to be there and everything. Just do a little extra, maybe investigating or curiosity, because we do want our kids to be safe at all times and know that they are going to the school and not somewhere else. There's been too many things going on with young kids, and we don't want to see anybody else making the news as to not being with their parents or family. Thank you, and my report.
Thank you. Mr. Janutis.
Thank you. Well, congratulations to all the new members of the city of Bedford, Tracy, and the police officers, and of course the promotion for Sean. It's wonderful, good thing, people are happy for that. We do have a resolution coming up here shortly. K, it says supporting Global Cleveland Welcoming Week. I didn't know much of an explanation this would get, but it says in the resolution that It's about supporting Global Cleveland, an organization in Cleveland, and to support the Welcoming the World campaign, which is called a fun way to showcase Cleveland and the surrounding area as globally friendly cities. So this is all about welcoming immigrants, and it goes on to say, whereas Ohio has thrived because of international newcomers, which I believe is so, and it also goes on to say that the spending power of refugees and immigrants are in the billions, which significantly outweighs the cost of public services they incur. Myself, I'm one of 50 million people right now collecting Social Security. I got to tell you, with an aging workforce, I welcome the influx of new workers. I think that's vital to our country. So I'm in support of that resolution. And finally, I do have a question about this, the trucks. There was a time when the police department was making efforts, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Mike, Mr. Malice, there was a time when the police made efforts to ticket the drivers. And we were told that it was too much of an effort for the police department to locate the drivers because they left the trucks behind. But they're allowed to ticket, but let me make this, I'm really unclear on this, because they're allowed to ticket those truck drivers because they're parking illegally, even though they're parking on private property. Is that correct? Because previously they tried to ticket those drivers, and it was too difficult to track down those drivers, and the companies were owned, the trucks were owned by big trucking companies, so this was a difficulty on the part of the police department. Could you explain to us?
Correct, that's accurate. I mean, we've sent our officers up there, for instance, I've gone up there on the weekends and knocked and advised people, listen, you're unable to park here. A lot of those are out-of-state drivers. There are some located here, but we did look at that at the very beginning. Some of the issues is some of those trucks are parked there for 4 days and they're not there.
Right.
So what do you do next? We are unable to tow vehicles that are on private property. Okay, one of the owners has put up new signage. There is signage through both sides of Meadowbrook, and there's been signs for years that it's private property. You're not unable to, park. There's no overnight. Some specifics along those lines. He has since, one of the property owners has since partnered with one of the local towing companies and erected new signs. They've also had they had hired an individual to go up there. I can tell you that one of the individuals, actually his wife was up there and tagged about 25 vehicles with fluorescent orange notices saying, this is private property, there's no overnight truck parking. Unfortunately, when there's one, it leads to 3 to 6, and the property owners,
40.
there were a lot. I got a couple pictures from over the weekend. It was packed, and our police department knew it. So the issue is the property owners, we're just not, and all of the property owners. Now I will say on the one side of the street, they've addressed it for the most part. There's no overnight truck parking taking place in the Walmart parking lot and over by the B&B. On the other side of the street, I believe there's 3 separate property owners. We've sent notices to each one of them. Only one of the property owners has tried, is the one that actually got orange stickers and posted them on the trucks and cars and things like that. The other 2, we haven't gotten a whole lot of cooperation, to be honest with you.
I mean, because what I'm thinking is, if one of those semi-trucks pulled into my front yard and parked in my front yard, it seems incomprehensible to me that it would be my responsibility to have that truck towed out of my property. And that it would be and then I would potentially get cited from the city of Bedford for not having it towed out. I can't understand how this could be so if one of the semi-trucks pulled into the Sunoco gas station on the corner of Taft and Northfield and parked there, and the owner of that property calls the police and says there's a semi-truck parked here, and I don't want it here, that would be the responsibility of him to have it towed, and he would be liable to get cited if it didn't have it towed. I don't understand this philosophy.
We're not allowed to order a vehicle towed on private property. The only time, a perfect example is where we tore down a house last year and there were 2 abandoned vehicles there. We can't just arbitrarily go and tow them, even though we know the house is going to be demolished. We know, we had to, they have to run the records, and then we actually have to work with the court to get those issued and declared abandoned vehicles, and then we go ahead and we contract with towing company to have them tow, and then they go after and try to recoup money, or they keep the car. But we can't, because of private property, we can't order vehicles to be towed off of that.
Private property.
We are not able to do so.
With the property owner's consent.
That is a different, probably,
because
that'd be a question.
The owners had made it clear that they don't want the trucks parking there.
Right, but here's the thing.
They're parked there illegally.
It's one thing to say, okay, you go ahead and do it, but who's going to incur some of those costs? I don't think it would be fair for the city to incur some of those costs.
Well, I think if you towed some of those trucks, they wouldn't be parking there anymore. And you don't even have to tow them. You could put a wheel block on them that just it says, call the Bedford police if you want this wheel block taken off. You don't even have to tow them. It seems incomprehensible to me that you expect to cite the property owners now that the trucks are parking illegally.
But the property owners they're not doing anything to help us with this. We're kind of we've gone up there, we've had patrols up there to try to notify individuals. We've erected temporary signage, like cities on our right-of-way, that clearly says that, we did that both on Northfield and Rockside. 1 out of the 3 property owners did put new signs up, because some of the other signs is faded. And all we're looking at is, we're saying, listen, we're running out of, we can't do, and I understand your point, good points, but at the same time, I also think it's kind of incomprehensible when we have 5 patrol vehicles on patrol, sometimes 6 in the evening, to stick 2 officers up there to start, okay, we got all, that's 4, we would have had cruisers up there all weekend trying to order tows. That's actually a drain on our resources. We're just looking for some cooperation, and that's what we're trying to do. I can tell you, I personally sent 3 messages, and 2 emails and 1 letter, and I didn't even get a phone call.
So we're trying to. I don't want to be a dead horse here, but it just seems incomprehensible that the police would not take action for illegal parking just because it's private property, because and the property owner doesn't want it to be. It just seems incomprehensible to me. Thank you. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Fluharty. Wow, I always got to follow him. Let's see here. First of all, welcome, Tracy. Do a good addition to our team here. And I also want to congratulations to the new officers, too, that are now new on our force. And looking around, I don't see anybody here probably from Union Street because they can't get out. So there's a big time problem over there. I was over there today, and that's a mess. And I feel sorry for them, and I try to ease their pain a little bit. I let them know that sooner or later it will get done, and we will have a new road, and they'll forget about it. But hopefully, and also, Mike, I'd like to know is when does the sidewalk replacement program actually supposed to start?
They actually went out, letters went out, we identified those streets, actually the 3 streets, I believe, to be specific, Carroll, Melba, Mitchell, they're going to exhaust a lot of those funds. We actually passed legislation at the last meeting, the walks were identified, so I would imagine it's very soon. I don't have a specific start date on it, but it'll be very soon.
Okay.
I'll try to get the date for you and we'll try to put something out there. But I know that they sent the letters out, and then they're probably waiting on feedback to see who's gonna try to piggyback on that to try to do more.
Okay. End of report.
Thank you. Mr. Saunders?
All right, everybody's given their congratulations to the new employees, so I guess I'll give mine too, but I won't list specifics, just in general. I have a couple questions, and first I want to thank the city for taking down the tree on Ennis that had become a hazard. It was hollow. The sycamore tree had outlived its lifespan, I guess. But at the same time, we still have the one at the end of Ennis, right on Nordham. I was at the property owner's house today. He asked me, since it's such a smaller tree and the bark is now cracking, whether he could take it down because he could use it as firewood. I know there's liability because it is a tree-lawn tree, but it's like only 8 inches around in diameter. It's not a big tree, but it's gonna fall over eventually here.
Well, I'll have our arborist take a look at it, I would advise.
It's been dead for a couple years now. But anyway, I just thought I'd suggest, because the property owner did say he'd be more than happy to take it out of there. So, but thanks for the one on Ennis. I know we've got one heck of a lot of trees, especially with the ashes. We've been making headway on them to some degree. And if you notice later in our ordinances, we're hoping to get a grant this week from the county that will allow us to replace 100 trees. So some of our streets have become really bare looking. One, if you go down Blaine, the only 2 trees left on Blaine are the 2 the hospital has in front of their building. The rest of the street's gone. So we've got several streets that have ended up that way because we planted, when the Dutch elms went, we put all ashes up. Well, that's a mistake because you never replant with a total one species because it could get wiped out again. So hopefully when we plant our new ones, we put several different species on a street. As far as the trucks that are at Meadowbrook, I will let you know that right now, Summit County in their towing ordinance is being questioned on its constitutionality. It looks like you're going to have a court order before you tow anything, not just trucks, but cars also. So this is a touchy subject. So if we can get the property owners to do it rather than the city, it certainly saves some time and effort. But there is people who are questioning the constitutionality right now of towing junk and abandoned vehicles and serviceable ones.
Question there, that would count for the property owner also? Should the property owner attempt to tow it also?
To play it safe, I'd get a court order from the looks of it. That's how it's playing out right now, because everything in Summit County is on hold for towing anything at the moment because of that. Center Road, do we have any idea when they're going to wrap that up? Because they did such a cheap job on that road to begin with. All they did was grind and resurface it. They didn't even do the radius turnouts at the intersections, which are going to come back to haunt them at a later date because that old pavement butting up against the main line is where the deterioration will start for the next bunch. But yes, it's a very nice riding surface, but they didn't do any base repair either. They just ground it off and overlaid it. So for having federal money for that job, you would have thought they'd have done a better job in Bedford, but I guess not. But hopefully that gets opened up here soon because people still are going the wrong direction in a lot of cases. And I hate to say it, I did that once myself because I came to City Hall from Ennis, but there wasn't anything there in the road, so it is quite an inconvenience. And let's see, what else did we have here? Oh, school started. School bus stops people aren't exactly paying attention to school buses. And as the same thing happens every year when school starts and when school lets out, kids are walking in the street, especially after school. So usually we do a concentration when school starts for a couple weeks to try to keep the kids on the sidewalks. Hopefully we can get some special attention on that again. Coming from the high school, Berwyn, Nordham, Ennis, they're always in the street, and they refuse to move for a car, so that's not a good thing. So hopefully we can get a little bit of attention into that type of thing. And the last thing is Kimball having a problem with the number of vehicles that they have for garbage trucks? Every week there's a street or two that seems to get pushed to the next day for pickup. Even my street a couple weeks ago, they didn't pick it up until the day after the trash pickup. They seem to be either short on vehicles or they're not working as efficiently. It's not like the winter when it's bad weather when you expect them to be slow, but something's up with them.
We told them to skip your street.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. Half the people don't have trash out every week anyway.
That was a joke. That was a joke. No, we're not aware of any delays, although I will say Clint and Sean did recently meet with Kimball, just regarding some other concerns. I think that might have been one of them, but they did meet with them, and they met with them with other representatives from our consortium that we work with.
Yes, they did take down some wires on the street too when they emptied their front bucket into the trash. They're supposed to back out into an open area before they do that, and this one truck just went and ripped them all down. So, you know, I don't know if they're new drivers, they don't know the routes or what's going on, but there are some concerns with our trash pickup. So hopefully we can get that back to a regular process here. That's it, thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Rhodes.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. Glad to see you. So I'm just going to say congratulations to everyone, and glad to have them all here. I just want to let everyone know the Garden Club is doing their annual mum sale. If you're not aware, the official flower of Bedford is the azalea mum, the pink azalea mum specifically. So the Garden Club, in order to promote our official flower, puts on this annual mum sale. Mums do go for $5 a piece, $4.50 if you're a club member. And if you'd like to become a club member, it's $10. And you can put some out in front of your house and show off your Bedford bride. If you would like to buy one, you can either visit the Garden Club's website at bedfordgardenclub.com, or you can call me at 440-227-3620 to order some. I also want to let everybody know and invite everyone to come to our First Friday event this Friday. We're very excited about it. We're doing it in conjunction with the City of Bedford. If you might recall, First Friday is put on by the Bedford Downtown Alliance. Our goal is to help revitalize our downtown area. The City of Bedford is joining with us this First Friday to put on a showing of I was going to say It's a Wonderful Life. Wrong season. The Wizard of Oz. Putting on a Wizard of Oz. This is their 80th anniversary of the Wizard of Oz. So prior to showing the movie, we will have music and having a chalk art festival. So you can come down with the kids or yourself, get some chalk, draw some pictures. We will have prizes for the best chalk art that we see. After it gets dark enough, we'll put up an inflatable screen on the gazebo, and we will be watching Wizard of Oz. So I hope that everyone comes down and joins. As always, the Bedford Downtown Alliance is always looking for new volunteers, and we're always glad to see new ones show up at our stakeholders meeting, which is the fourth Wednesday of the month. So if you're interested in helping out the local community, please feel free to join. And again, if you have any questions, you just want to find out more, you can always give me a call. Again, the number is 440-227-3620, or you can email me at heather@bedfordward5, the number 5.com. That's mine. End of report.
Thank you. And I want to say, I'm happy to see the Mazda building up there now. Finally, we have something in that intersection that's positive and moving along, and should be a sign of more things to come up in that area. So thanks to the Mazda guys for starting that, and getting going with it. Let's get to new business. Ordinance number 9718-19.
That's an ordinance amending ordinance 9653-18, making additional appropriations for current expenditures of the city of Bedford, Ohio during the year 2019 and declaring an emergency.
And a motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Janutus. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Bezak, second by Rhodes. Frank?
Yeah, this ordinance is a cleanup ordinance. We have a few items on there. The building department's going to have a software program that they're going to need to upgrade to so we can be in compliance with our Windows upgrades. We have some smaller grant funds, but we also, on the major purchases, we have our ambulance and the capital outlay at $273,000, and also our fire truck is being appropriated today, as well as our water rate study. Our water fund, we have a Tinkers Creek water line, which is a project that will be starting also. And the large one that we have is the wastewater fund. We have a stabilization of Wood Creek, where we did obtain the Ohio Water Development Authority loan for $805,400, 2.1% over 20 years. So we'll be starting those projects shortly, and I ask council to appropriate the funds for allowing those projects to commence.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9719-19.
An ordinance authorizing the purchase of one 2019 Jeep Cherokee from Paul Sherry Chrysler Dodge Jeep and declaring an emergency.
I have a motion for suspension by Saunders, second by Rhodes. Roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
And motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Mike?
This is a vehicle for our police department. The $23,704.50 is the state bid price.
Thank you. Sounds like a deal. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9720-19.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with Independence Excavating Incorporated for the Wood Creek Bank stabilization, being the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, and declaring an emergency.
A motion for suspension by Saunders, second by Mezak. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Janutus. Mike?
Thanks, Mayor. If you recall, this was a project near the wastewater treatment facility where we had the creek bank eroded over time and obviously began to erode very, very quickly, and it was encroaching on a main trunk line that fed the plant. It was something that we needed to do immediately. We did apply for funding through the OWDA, which was a low-interest loan, 20 years, at 2.5%, I believe, which is an outstanding rate. 2.1, I'm sorry. Thank you, Frank. Which was an outstanding rate, and that will fund the project. The $641,000, actually it's $647 through Independence Excavating, Our engineer's estimate for this total project was $735,000, so it did come in under, and Independence was the low bid out of the 4 companies that did bid the project. They're a reputable company and are considered experts in stabilization of slopes and stream banks. I recommend that we move forward and award them this project so we can start on it immediately.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9721-19.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with J. Barker Landscaping for the planting of 100 trees in connection with the Cuyahoga County Healthy Urban Tree Canopy Program grant and declaring an emergency.
A motion for suspension by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Saunders, second by Mezak. Mike?
This will kind of touch on the next 2. As indicated in the ordinance, we applied for funding through Cuyahoga County, just under $50,000. If you recall, we used to, when we would take trees down, we would replant. We did that annually, and we stopped that program in 2007, obviously for budget concerns. When this grant came out, we looked at it. We had everything as far as our plans, our studies, our maps, as far as where we've taken trees out over the last 10 years. We had everything ready to go ahead and apply and be ready to start planting this year. We are optimistic that we'll be successful, and the goal is having this on tonight will be for when we do get notified, we can act quickly, we can purchase the trees, and thus start planting immediately. We've identified areas in Councilwoman Mezak's ward, Councilman Fluharty's ward. I think there's a couple other streets. Sean Francis, Clint Beller, and Jennifer Kuzma put a lot of work into this. So again, we're very optimistic, and the plan is that we would begin immediately and plant 50 trees this fall, and then we would plant the remaining 50 in the spring. And obviously, we will continue to apply for this funding every year that it is available.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Ordinance number 9722-19.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to contract with various local nurseries for the purchase of 100 trees in connection with the Cuyahoga County Healthy Urban Tree Canopy Program grant and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Rhodes, second by Saunders. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Janutus. Again, we had the explanation, tree planting. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Resolution number 2539-19.
A resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor and declaring an emergency.
Have a motion for suspension by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Rhodes, second by Mezak.
This resolution, Mayor, is the annual requirement from the city to establish the rate structure for the tax year 2019 to be collected in 2020. The millage that we have here will be the same as we did for the previous years. And ask council to approve this evening, as we have to have this down to the county auditor as soon as possible.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Resolution number 2540-19.
A resolution to authorize bridge inspection program services provided to the city of Bedford.
Motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Saunders, second by Mezak.
This will allow bridge inspection services to perform numerous, obviously, inspections to bridges throughout Bedford. Union Street is one of them, the Union Street Bridge, which we anticipate will be done in 2020. There's also others, for instance, Northfield Road Bridge and the others. It includes routine inspections, element level inspections, critical finding reports, fracture critical member inspections, load rating calculations, and a number of other items. Obviously, this is important for maintenance, important for grant funding, and funding that either the city or the county would go after for necessary improvements.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Resolution number 2541-19.
Resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a purchase agreement with Barrett Benefit Group LLC for the purchase of permanent parcel numbers 812-07-004 and 812-07-003 and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Saunders, second by Rhodes. Call the roll.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Fluharty, second by Spinks. Mike?
Thank you, Mayor. These two parcels that we've owned, they are adjacent to, they are on Broadway, adjacent to the Mr. G's property. It is, in essence, the parking area. We have been working with Barrett Benefit Group, which is a professional service, professional offices. They employ 15 to 20 employees. They're looking to relocate to Bedford. From an economic development standpoint, they would need these parcels for parking. We included in the purchase agreement a couple of different restrictions to protect the city. Obviously, the transaction on the building that they would be looking to acquire is dependent on this additional property. One of the things they would need to do is immediately consolidate all three parcels into one. And then, as I stated, there's other restrictions included to protect this. But this is, in essence, bringing a new business, good jobs into our downtown area, and it'll be a plus.
Good, thank you. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Resolution number 2542-19.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a municipal agency agreement for the St. Peter Chanel demolition with the Cuyahoga County Land Reutilization Corporation and declaring an emergency.
And motion for suspension by Rhodes, second by Saunders. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochee?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Mike?
Yes, this is an agreement that will...
For the next one, too.
Okay, explain them both. The first one, this piece of legislation is required. It is a standard agreement between the land bank and municipalities that are working on a demolition project where the grant amount is not enough to cover the entire demolition. And what we're specifically talking about is the Chanel property. The land bank offered grants of $100,000 per commercial structure. Jennifer in our offices was able to write a grant to include $300,000 to be earmarked for the Chanel property should the schools choose to tear that down. She was able to break that facility down into 3 buildings, which is why we got $300,000. Obviously, it's going to take more than $300,000 to demolish that. This first piece of legislation is an agreement with the land bank stating that anything over the grant amount, the city of Bedford would be responsible for. The very next piece of legislation is an agreement that we have with the Bedford City School District. They had since passed and discussed a similar contract at a past meeting. That agreement is basically the same agreement that we have with the land bank, but what it states is that once the land bank tears the structure down, they will submit a bill to the city for the overage, anything over $300,000. The city will submit that bill to the schools. The schools has 60 days to pay the city the overage amount, at which point we pay the land bank. The city is not fronting any money, but the way that program is worked through the land bank and the county, only government entities are able to get the grant. So we wrote the grant, we were successful. They allowed the schools to utilize it, should they do so. These 2 agreements are to, 1, the land bank is being guaranteed that someone is paying the overage, and the second legislation is us guaranteeing that the schools is going to cover that and not the city. I hope I explained that. I know it's a little complicated, but it's a good thing, and hopefully they do intend to move forward with that. I will add that this is the last year of the demolition funds. The county does not intend to extend that program beyond 2019. So we're trying to utilize as much dollars as we can. And if we were able to help the schools, if they choose to do that, that was our immediate intent.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Resolution number 2543-19.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a St. Peter Chanel demolition overage agreement with the Bedford City School District and declaring an emergency.
Motion for suspension by Spinks, second by Fluharty. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion for third and final by Rhodes, second by Mezak. We had the explanation. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Resolution number 2544-19.
Resolution recognizing, supporting, and commending Global Cleveland Welcoming Week and declaring an emergency.
For this, we only need one reading, correct?
Correct.
Have a motion for acceptance by Janutus, second by Fluharty. And I was going to read it, but I think Wally covered a lot of it there. What it is, Global Cleveland asked us to pass this resolution in support of Greater Cleveland Global Cleveland Network, and to welcome. They're going to have a big function, and they're going to welcome a lot of these foreign students and business people as they come to Cleveland to look for jobs, and they bring with them a lot of money. And they will fulfill a lot of jobs. And there's a lot of stats in there, like Wally pointed out, of the money that they come in. And these are people coming to our country the right way. They're coming in on proper visas and all that sort of thing. So, and it's a good thing. And they do add a lot to our economy, because as people are leaving Greater Cleveland, we need people to move in and take those jobs and move into the homes and help the economy to go. And they bring with them a lot of money, and I've talked with some of the organization that was helping to do some of this, and these are some quality people coming in that are professionals, have degrees. Most of them have at least a bachelor's, and most have higher. So it's really good for the city. Get some people in here that are going to help stimulate our economy. So this is just to help Global Cleveland welcome them to the county. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Motion to accept the recommendation of the Turk meeting of July 25th, 2019. And so moved by Spinks, second by Janutus. And Frank, do you want to explain
Yeah,
that?
that's correct. The Tax Incentive Review Council consists of members of the school system, the county, and the city. We met on July 25th, 2019, reviewed the 4 abatement contracts that we have currently in place. Some were in compliance, some were not in compliance due to the way the contracts are written. We will be working with the law director, myself, and perhaps the assistant law director in regards to redoing the contracts for future reference. But as to today, I ask the council accept the recommendations made by the Turk on July 25th.
Thank you. Call the roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezek?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
Rhodes?
Yes.
Thank you. And before we get to hearing of citizens, I just want to make 2 points. I want to thank Michelle Howell for sitting in and assisting Tracy on her first meeting here. And also I want to point out that the Union Street construction is just a water line. I know a lot of the people in Walton Hills are going to be disappointed because we are not resurfacing the road. Once they get done, there'll be a nice new path where the water line went in, but the same old road's going to be there until next year. So some people are all getting excited that the road's getting done, but that's not till next year. But we didn't want to wait till next year and tear up the road when they just repave it. That would be crazy. So get the water line in next year, get it paved. Just wanted to make that point. And at this point, we get to the hearing of citizens. If you wish to speak, please come forward, state your name, your address, and your comment. Seeing none? Well,
Hi. Tina Stradia, 51 Elm Street. Thank you, Mayor and Mr. Malice, and good job, Mr. Gambosi. So I don't know if it's because I'm in Ward 6 or what it is, but I too have a problem with the garbage. So we're finding, like, I walk a lot in Bedford, and I'm finding that as the garbage is done, it's not so much with the garbage trucks, but the people take in their cans, but they'll leave the garbage that's there. Like, this is just a basic, you take in the cans, pick up the garbage to go with it, just do a little bit extra. And I'm not really sure, like, I've picked it up, but I can't be picking up everyone's garbage that leaves it up. Any ideas of how we can, like, help people want to take care of their property? I don't know. I can do the same thing with Dollar General and Burger King. If there's another, can we get another garbage can? Can we talk to
We're working on those.
managers, or?
I can tell you with the downtown stuff, I've been speaking with Mike about that, and we've got some stuff in the works for those. But for the other problem, we have the Good Neighbor Guide that we're working on. Maybe it's something we can put in there.
I know we had a resident guide, and then we used to have a good neighbor guide. They used to go out. We are in the process of, I know a couple staff members, and Michelle in particular, was working to go ahead and kind of update that and give that a refresh. And that would go out, and it's simple questions, or not questions, simple answers, expectations, things like that. There's a friendly piece that goes out to everybody. We are looking to redo that, and hopefully we can get that done, and maybe we can incorporate something like that.
Or, that'd be great, thank you. And even like we talked a little while ago about commending or rewarding people who are doing improvements, because it seems like if we can bolster it a little bit to make people want to care again, because Bedford can be so charming. The kitty campus on the corner over here, is there anything like that we can do to help them want to make it look a little bit nicer? Because it's really starting to, like, we have a number of,
I believe they have been, they've been cited, haven't they? I know
They've
we
sent-
talked about it.
They
so-
sent, they was given, they were, I don't want to say written up, but they were sent a notice. I don't think they were cited
Cited.
yet. They have a certain period of time to comply with improving some of those items. I can check on that date and I can get you a copy of what that was, but something did go out to them.
thank you for, you guys are on it, way to go. And then
I
one
did
more.
see people there with ladders last week when I was over at Walgreens. I happened to notice, I didn't see what they were doing, but they had ladders up, so hopefully they're painting or whatever they have to do.
Great, thank you. And just the truck thing, that at least we're all on the same page that it's by our school, like our school needs help, doesn't need a truck stop there. But if we don't have any consequence, we typically don't really care. So I don't know if there is, obviously you can't cite it, I guess now, but like the wheel block sounded like a good idea, just anything where there is some type of consequence, because we just, that's the kind of, we all know how we are. And the small town charm. Okay, so all the events that you guys put on that are can be so awesome. And remember how you used to have the little banner and you drive through, like that had a small town kind of charm, at least I felt it did, and it kind of announced to people like driving through, like, wow, Bedford always has something going on, and they're kind of cool. Do we know why that stopped being hung, or?
Oh, they're going on.
Oh, they're still going up?
Yeah, I know Pagan Pride had theirs up.
Okay, so,
And the
yeah,
booth,
I'm walking right under it, missing it,
the booth
sorry.
and the arts thing will be up next week for the,
Great, okay, so maybe, was it up at Strawberry Festival?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, sorry, I'm focused on other things, I'm so sorry. Sorry.
now, one thing, we have a few less festivals than we used to have, like the Lions. A lot of those groups of people are getting older and we
Yeah,
can't get young people to come in and help them.
yeah, we're trying to figure out what will bring the young people out, so
And
we all work
that's not just the
together.
city, that's everywhere, whether it's at church or wherever.
Yeah.
Getting people to join and help out is just getting tougher and tougher.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys.
Okay, there's information in the lobby on your way out. To the right.
Okay, thank you.
Whole thing's
I'm
there.
cut, sorry, thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, motion for adjournment by Janutus, second by Janutus. Yeah, Janutus, if we are.
Why not?
Janutus and Janutus. Follow roll, please.
Spinks?
Yes.
Cochi?
Yes.
Mezak?
Yes.
Janutus?
Yes.
Fluharty?
Yes.
Saunders?
Yes.
And Rose?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a long meeting. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.